Yeah, I have to say it was pretty decent. Hey golfers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at probably the most common thing that I see on a daily basis, and that is catching the ground before the golf ball. Chunking it, fatting it, and even thinning it comes from the same family as this. So I want to break down the two major reasons why I see this happening. Also, a really simple drill that you can do even at home or on the range or anywhere. I'm also going to talk about how I want you to incorporate it onto the golf course as well, to help you get that ball turf contact for those nice compressed iron strikes. Okay guys, so if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get going. So it's like anything, in order to fix something, you first of all have to understand it. Why do we hit the ground before the ball? Fat it, chunk it, and as I said, potentially thin it because it comes from the same family. Think of it this way, the golf swing, imagine my club head as I make a backswing, a downswing, and a follow through travels on a big circle. Okay, now like any circle, there's a bottom. So as I take the club and just let it swing back and forward like a pendulum, you'll see that the lowest point of that swing is here. If I get that lowest point of the swing before the golf ball, I'm in trouble. Okay, that's likely where you're going to hit the ground. Let's imagine you get the low point of the swing before the golf ball, but in fear you don't want to hit the ground, you don't want to chunk it, so you end up kind of pulling up. Now the club, after the low point is traveling up, thins the ball, tops the ball. Such a big thing, having that low point in the correct place, and ideally we'd like that varying on swing speed, but 2, 3, 4 inches after. Higher speed players maybe 5 or 6 inches after. Okay, so we have to look and see, well, how do I get that low point after, and why is it before? Well, you might have noticed as I was kind of mimicking putting my low point before the golf ball, you'd see that my weight or my body is back behind the ball. So the mass of my body is this side. The low point is typically going to be underneath the lead armpit. That's where the club is at its lowest point, and then it will travel up. So if I set up to the ball, swing down, and I stay back, that low point comes with me, gets before, we're in trouble, okay? The other reason that we might see this happening is because from the top of the downswing, we might lose the angles in the wrist. So this is that kind of early release or casting. What that's doing is extending that circle down beneath the ground. I'm having to sort of cast or scoop, and this is where the low point can get before the ball as well. Bang, another problem, okay? Now, all that aside, that could be the two major reasons why you're doing this. This is what I see most, those two things. And yes, I could make a technical video, and I have done in the past, about getting your mass more in front of the ball to help get the low point here. I could teach you to hold on to these angles better, make sure that the club face is nice and square so that you can then release it later, get the low point after, and I will do future videos on that. But today's video, I want to talk about probably the most simple thing. I tend to find that people don't commit to this drill that much as they should, because it's so simple. They have to think there must be something more complex than that. Okay, so let's take a look at what that is, and I think you'll really enjoy it, because as I say, you can do it at home, in the house, or at the range, or the golf course. Okay, so let's take a look at what that is. So what we want to look at is ground contact. Now, we have to make contact with the ground when we're hitting irons, even chipping, pitching, all of those things. But the important thing is, where do we contact the ground? We definitely don't want it to be before the golf ball. We want it to be after, okay? Now, if I lined up 100 golfers and we had Tiger Woods, Rory, the best in the world at one end, and we had a beginner golfer that had never played before at the other end, well, we're going to see that the guys at that end, and this will scale right the way to the far end, the beginner, how good would they be if I put them in a bunker and I drew a line in the sand, asked them to make 10 swings, how consistently could they strike just after that line, over and over? So contacting the ground, target side of the golf ball. And as those golfers go up the end towards more beginner, you're going to see they're really going to struggle with that. A, they're going to miss the ground, or B, thump it here, but very rarely out in front. And I see that all the time. So anything that we can do in the skill-based realm to try and encourage the ground contact to be after the golf ball is going to be brilliant. So there's your first one. If you have a bunker at your practice area, nice and flat, hopefully, rake it, draw a line, and just set up. Get the feeling from short swings. Can you brush just after the line? The sand will give you feedback, which is excellent, okay? And you might find you struggle with that, which is a good sign because it shows that if you can improve this, you're definitely going to get more ball then turf contact, okay? Hang with me because I know it sounds really, really simple. Now, I have this thing, which is called the divot board. It's kind of going to mimic the bunker analogy I just gave you. And what we're going to do is we're going to place it here. And before we get to hitting any shots, we want to learn how do I land the club just after where the golf ball would be. So I have the yellow dot, and I'm just going to make some small swings. I'm going to show you how to practice this. Some small swings and try and land. I landed on the yellow dot, but a pretty decent ground contact after. I'll try and make that a little bit more forward. That way, better, so you can see the divot starting here. So I'm just feeling this. I'm playing around. I'm thinking where I want that to contact. Now the other thing, what we want to do is experiment with the wrong thing, okay? Because it's called guided discovery. If you can kind of go, right, well, can I move that too far out in front? Yes. Can I move it too far behind? Yes. So I'm playing around. So the third one then I would say, okay, can I make that in the right place? All right. So it's feedback obviously from this or your bunker at the course. But all you're doing is you're just learning. You're not thinking technical here. This is called an external drill. I'm not thinking technical there. I'm just thinking that I'm in control of that. The same way I'm in control of the end of a pen when I'm writing my name. So when we're here, we're feeling. There was a good one. So I'm constantly learning what it takes. Now, if you watch, like I said at the start of this video, the body going back, well, I'm always going to hit before that dot. I get the body going forward. Naturally, I'm not thinking about this. I'm just trying to contact here. It happens automatically. Okay. Now, let's take the other example, the early release. Even if I get my weight in front, but I lose that angle, of course I'm going to hit before. So you can fix a lot of that just purely with an external focus of something like this or the bunker, where you could swing and land the club in the same spot every time. As I said, the guys at that end, the tour pros, they're going to land that same spot every single time. And as the ability of the golfer goes, say, to the beginner realm, you're going to see they will struggle with this. Okay, so it is a skill that we all must learn. Okay, so let's talk about how you can take that into your practice and start to incorporate it when hitting golf shots and even on the golf course. And before I actually get into that, I have to try this. The first time I've hit a full shot off this, I just want to see where it comes out. If you watch my comeback video, you'll know that I was gravitating towards the toes. So this is going to show me. And I'll just put myself under pressure here and try one. Yeah, I have to say it was pretty decent. All right, that was a bit of a fluke. I don't think I would do that every time. Now, how can you take this to your practice or to the golf course? All right, well, like anything in golf, we start out slow. So I want you to either get into a bunker, or if you're at the range, you should be able to see a little bit of where you're contacting on the mat, whether it be back there or in front, or you miss it altogether. I want you to get the feeling from a nice slow swing, short swing, landing the club in that spot. Once you feel confident you've done it 2 or 3 times in a row, I want you to go ahead and chip one. Good. Ball, turf, contact, okay? Scale it up. Do that for 10 or 20 balls. Then go each time, each shot, by the way. I want the practice swings 2 or 3 successful attempts before you hit. Then make it a little longer. See if you can still brush that same spot. That way. And then a little longer swing. Ball, turf, contact. You're not thinking about where's my arm, where's my weight. Not thinking about it. It's happening because you're thinking externally about the club head and what you're trying to do with it. Once you've done that, that's kind of half swing. You have to excuse me, a bit of a cold here after Christmas. So now you're going to go same process, full swings, brush, same spot, so I can see I'm hitting that same spot every time. Full swing, replicate. That way. Okay, so 3 pretty decent shots. Direction, pretty decent. And also strike, ball, turf, contact. I didn't fat any of them because obviously I've been using this. Brushing the grass, getting the feeling of where I want to land the club. And then when we take this to the golf course, what I genuinely want you to do is factor this into your pre-shot routine. Hopefully you have one of those. If not, I have a video coming on pre-shot routine, which is so important. But pre-shot routine, I don't care if it's just a right foot forward, little swing. Use the grass as feedback. You'll see where this club lands, and you want it to be just after the ball. You could do it more of a mimicking a full swing. That way. Use the grass for feedback. Once you feel that you got that, go ahead and hit the shot. Okay? Just wanted to make this video, guys. It's so important. I see it all the time on the track, man. I see that low point before the golf ball on most golfers I teach. And I'm going to give them a drill like this and teach them the skill of brushing the grass after. Honestly, try it. Really good, really simple. It's not technical. It's a fun game. It's an external drill, and your technique will change as a result. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.